Yeah.
It's ready?
Yeah.
I feel like a fucking pimp.
It's
laying
all just
out
the
on the
punk.
couch with all my fine bitches.
Soundbite.
Right? How's it, everyone? And welcome to an episode of Full Culture, the podcast, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Not
We'll see
another episode.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm
usually always
done.
been another.
Yeah.
You
I'm
notice
done
that
with
too?
another episode because every time I say another episode, we don't have one for another 6
Oh,
months.
yeah, we take a year
A
hiatus.
year hiatus.
How long has it been? When was the last episode?
Oh.
The last podcast was last year,
2024.
2024. It was right before my dad's anniversary of his death, I think. And I did one with my buddy Jason from.
Oh, I was.
No,
that
yeah.
way.
You,
was the last time I was?
Oh, it's
you
been a
haven't done
minute
one
for
in
both
a
of us.
while. You haven't been here in almost like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
You haven't been on in like I want to say about a year because I had my buddy Steve, my cousin, Marieli, and then I had my buddy Jason.
Oh yeah, that was a good.
Was that
Yeah.
season 2?
I don't even have them in the seasons.
Oh,
yeah, sure. It was
just going through.
It was
Going through.
hiatus
Yeah.
3, I think.
Got it.
Yeah. There's been some hiatus. So when was it? You don't remember the last episode we had together?
I don't.
I don't think we.
Well,
did
the thing is, I think you and I did one that I never aired. It was just kind of you and I, and we're just like, let's shoot the shit. Let's see what happens. Jake was supposed to come.
What are we talking about?
wasn't
Like
gonna make
mushrooms?
Yeah, I think so. We were, yeah, I think it was that one we were kind of like talking about. I think that's probably why I didn't air it because we were talking about like.
Yeah, what did you talk about?
We were just talking about like spirituality and like
Yeah.
like we got into like
This is 2 years ago.
This was about a year ago, I want to say.
Yeah,
We got like super deep into like dumb stuff. Really, like it was just.
Hey, you.
Or just it was just a random talk, but we were talking a lot about like wanting to try like doing like mushrooms and ayahuasca and like talking about trips and things that we've heard, and because you said you were on a spiritual journey, which I
Yeah.
think you were still on that spiritual
Correct.
journey.
Yeah,
Correct?
we're still going. through it.
So I'm trying to find the last video we did. So it was I don't know. It was something I was like, should I put it out? Would I put it out? And I was like, I'll just keep it in the like on the back
In the
burner.
vault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just in case I need to put out content. But there was such a big break between the last time I put out content. I was like, it's gonna be super random.
Yeah.
And then who knows? The
It
next
was kind of out there. I remember.
I mean, but like you have like, there's been a lot of shit. So I don't even know if we want to catch people up on. Let's do that. Let's catch people up on why we've been away so long. Jake, you've been busy.
I've been busy, yes.
Extremely busy.
Yes.
What have you been doing?
I mean, besides my normal job that I am working.
Yeah,
my,
you're 9 to 5.
Yeah. The photography business has been doing well since the beginning of the year. I gotten a lot of teams under my belt, so it's been kind of taking up a lot of time. I got 2 full-blown teenagers now, so anytime whenever I get home or some availability, it's do you take me here? Can I take me here? Drop off. So.
And then the photography's that's kind of kept both of us busy.
Yeah, thankfully I've had your help on a lot of projects and things like
Thank
that.
you
So
for bringing me onto that stuff. It's been really cool experience, especially watching like your growth in how much you've evolved as a photographer. You know, like I can remember us just like fucking around taking pictures and doing things, and then you're just like your work just started getting really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, from my point of view, I mean, you were kind of in it with them, you know, and seeing it pretty up close.
Yeah.
I've kind of just seen it kind of from afar, and like your growth, art-wise, really dope.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just it's crazy when it's like, I mean, even with this stuff, like I sent you the first podcast of you and I that's been taken down, but I sent it to you, and it's like to see how crude and like terrible it is, and then to see like how much. I mean, not saying that this is fantastic. By the way, to explain this, that we're in the middle of the tsunami. You know, the tsunami from Russia kind of did its number on Long Beach. So no, we're in the process of figuring out what's going to go on with the podcast and what direction we're going with all kinds of stuff. But yeah, to go from like a crude, just kind of like thrown together kind of podcast like you're seeing now, to what it evolved to with like trying to fix audio, putting more money into it, and all that stuff, and seeing how like it evolved just technically, and then like how it evolves artistically is just insane. And then like when you start seeing them come together, and like with you specifically, like you see you taking pictures and catching like some pretty good shots, and like some like we're like, oh, like damn, that's pretty cool. Like you have an eye for it. Then your like technical like ability starting to like rise as well, and then you like find this place where you're like, god damn, he's just a really good photographer. Like you know, like I can, and I think I realized it the most when I go and I shoot with you, and you're like, yeah, just go and like just grab your camera and just shoot, and I'm shooting shit and I'm looking at it, I'm like, these pictures are nowhere near what you shoot. You know what I mean? I'm like, I was like, damn, man.
You
And
just
like,
got an eye for it, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll catch something that looks like I'll even be sitting like right next to him, thinking that I have like the angle, but just like he has the right focal length, he has the right look, he knows what he's looking for, you know. And I think a lot of it speaks to like how much time and effort he's put into like that genre of photography that he's doing, because like I don't see it. You know, like there's things that I take pictures of where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then like the editing and the stuff that we've learned on the back end is like the post photography stuff is like where you really kind of like, oh, you turn a good picture into a great picture, but it's there's something that you have where it's just like you know what you're looking for and you know how to capture it, and it's not something that can be like mimicked. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, no, I have my own eye and all that, but I mean, I think my growth and everything you guys have mentioned is just come through reps.
Yeah.
It's just getting out there and shooting and finding what works and doesn't work. And I found a new shot of a catcher just the other day that it's just like, I need to recreate this one again because that's a good look.
Yeah.
So yeah, having you out there and come out, like you get some things that I actually take from you when I edit your photos after the fact. Is like that's not a look that I'm used to seeing.
Right.
I can take from that and kind of
make your own little
exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just crazy how the artistic eye is just completely different. And then when you start seeing like someone's artistic ability and their kind of like signature start to like come into its own, and that I think in the last couple of years that it's really been kind of like inspiring watching you do that and get to that point, you know. And then and then sitting there like it makes me want to like get this stuff out and start going again and like getting
the reps in.
Getting the reps in, right? Exactly. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, this wouldn't have come as far as it did. Not that it's very far, but that it wouldn't have come as far as it did if it wasn't for people like critiquing it and saying like, oh, the audio sucks, or like, oh, you guys are too dark, or you guys are this, or you know, like, and then getting better cameras and seeing like the different caliber of like, oh, this looks a lot nicer on this camera or this lens and things like that. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's basically what you've been up to. And then Robin, you've had a lot going on in your life, yeah?
To say the least, yeah. I mean, shit. That's what I was kind of trying to gauge when our last episode was.
A year ago. I just looked. It was a year ago.
Personally, yeah. I should.
Yeah, you lost your brother.
I lost my brother.
Yeah.
By single. So that was a big thing. That was been like a year and a half in the process. So I was in a relationship for 18 years, and you know, things changed.
Yeah.
So that was tough to kind of deal with personally, but you know, moving along, navigating through life.
It's been a huge, you know, because I've been somewhat privy to what's been going on, and
I have not. That's been news to me.
Yeah, that's it was kind of like there's gonna be a lot to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was like, I've seen your growth as just an individual. You know what I mean? And we talk about it all the time. We call each other and we talk about it, or I call you and we talk about it. But no, that's something that's and I think, you know, we both experienced loss. I lost my father 2 years, about to be 2 years ago, and then shortly after. And it was funny. You and I were just on the phone, talking about like, hey, like, you know, I'm feeling creative. I want to get out. I want to start doing stuff. Like, you down to do the podcast? You're like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm in a good like creative like mindset right now, and I'm working on myself and I'm getting myself going, and you know, just kind of like just trying to work on myself. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then a few minutes later, you got the call that your brother had been in an accident. you know, and that was like kind of, we were literally like planning to do a podcast within like that week, and that happened. I was like, well, I got to give him his time to like, you know, process that and, you know, deal with that. Plus I knew what was going on with your life in your relationship, you know, with, I mean, it's the mother of your children.
Correct.
So, you know, it was a
Yeah,
lot going
that
on.
it was January of this year when my brother passed.
Yeah.
He died in a car accident, and that was, you know, with everything going on, that on top was like, what the,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And like I've been on my personal growth journey,
Yeah.
like for the past what 3-4 years.
Yeah,
I mean, since COVID, really.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. It was literally since like the person you were when we started this podcast, and then the person you are now. How like, I don't want to say polar opposites, but you can see a huge amount of like change and growth
Yeah,
personally, you know,
correct.
and it's more like introspective shit that you've been kind of like looking at yourself and seeing. And I don't want to credit the podcast, but it's something that I myself doing the podcast. You look at yourself on camera and you like watch the episode and you're just kind of like, I really don't like the way I portray myself. I don't
Yeah.
like the person that I kind of am.
No, I mean, I saw it in myself,
Mm-hmm.
seeing our episodes, being like, I mean, I've been sober 2.5 years, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
and
another
that's
big step.
another
Yeah.
thing, and all that kind of my personal growth and my relationship, the way that went down, it all like coincided. I over here thinking I'm getting better and whatnot, and something's crumbling
Right.
alongside that, and I guess it all happens for a reason.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. You know, I mean, they kind of say like in order to truly grow, you got to hit some sort of rock bottom, because then there's no other direction but up.
Totally, and then you get humbled,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and you can either let that humbling like cripple you
Right.
and just kind of feel sorry for yourself and stay in that zone, or you can, you know, rise from it. So, and I hope that's what I'm doing.
So I think I've asked you this before, but I just kind of want to get in depth with it. Do you feel like your growth in you trying to like not so much find yourself, but like be more introspective about yourself, you think that kind of like brought out a lot of like not red flags, but a lot of like indicators that like things in your relationship that were probably being put aside or overlooked, and like may have like brought out some of that stuff, and that's kind of like snowballed the decline of your relationship?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely agree. Yes, I think that is true. But yeah, I also found out like just how kind of weak of a person I have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have a lot of a lot more self awareness now.
Weak in what sense?
Just like past traumas, me not like setting
Dealing with them.
boundaries, letting people kind of walk over me.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it came from a good place. Like I was trying to be nice, and maybe I was too nice,
Right.
or just like self doubt myself. And like I tell you this all the time. I used to say how like I used to start like a lot of conversations with like my dumb ass or you know shit like that, just naturally putting myself down.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's just I guess past trauma, like or just a mindset I had in myself that there was some lack in me.
Yeah.
And it seemed cool at the time, like it at least I thought it was kind of like joking, or maybe to get a laugh. But you know, I think when with all this going down, there is a deep thought inside me that really kind of believed that, you know, that um, I did doubt myself. I didn't find myself worthy enough. You know?
I think a lot of like your like charismatic way of being came from like a coping mechanism of you trying to like seem humble, but it's really insecurity.
Yeah,
And
maybe
and you're like,
definitely, yeah.
like if I make fun of myself right now, it's easier for me to take someone else giving me some shit or like trying to make fun of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you have that mindset, and it becomes kind of like your little shield that you take with you everywhere, you know, and then you just get better at it. So then you just become more confident.
And that's why like drinking, like I think people can be, you know, strong and still drink, but like for me it was like a way to just like hide all that.
Yeah.
You know, and I would uh I guess the real me would come out when I would start drinking, and I was like, all right, I am cool, be like being super social and funny and whatnot. That kind of was able to release that and kind of hide behind that as my reality. But when I would stop drinking, it would be, insecure me would be there, So that was like,
That's
it's
wild.
been a long time. I mean, I've stopped drinking for 2.5 years, and that first year it was like the battle of not having a drink and not doing what I normally would do. And then after that first year, that it was like then like I started seeing myself for who I really was, and that was a whole nother level, So like I'm 2.5 years sober, and I'm kind of like just starting feeling like I'm starting to see things. So yeah, it's a wild
That's
journey.
crazy. That's crazy.
What about you? What's been going on in your life in the last year or so?
I mean, nothing real. I've just been sitting on the couch a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Dude, I mean,
you're getting
it seems
sun
like
flare under your camera.
Yeah, I hope I get a nice little like lens flares, and I look all like handsome.
So what about you? What have you been doing the last year or so?
It seems like every time I have a kid, I lose a job. So I think this might probably be the last one I have. But I had a kid, little Lucas, in April, and that was something that was. Well, I mean, we were trying to get pregnant. We were trying to make sure that Jose didn't have too much gap between him and his siblings, but we were also like, are we going to be able to manage it? Like both of us working, and then, like I said, I ended up losing my job, and well, I mean, I kind of forfeited my job in a sense. Took an early retirement because they were looking to like make cuts, and I was just like, well, maybe it's that time to either make a big change and shit or get off the pot, or and see where life goes, or try to stick this out and hopefully I don't get cut and have to deal with that reality. So things, to be honest with you, like ever since my dad has passed, it was like it's probably been the biggest trauma that I've had to deal with in my life, like bar none, and it hit me a lot harder than I thought I would be ready for it. But and you could probably speak to it, like how unexpected it is when you lose somebody in a car accident. Like when you know someone's kind of like battling with something, or like, hey, it could be any minute now. You kind of have a little bit more time to prepare for yourself. I don't think you're ever prepared for it, but you have a little bit more of a mindset to prepare yourself. Like, okay, like I don't want to see them suffer, kind of thing. But when you lose somebody, in the blink of an eye, it really fucked with me specifically. Like wow, I got this crazy like rush of anxiety where I was like, I don't know if I'd make it home tonight. Like that's fucking crazy. Like I could be going anywhere and thinking like, yeah, it's just another day, and then it's over like that. So that harsh reality kind of really fucked with me. But to be honest with you, ever since my dad passed, his year anniversary, like it's been kind of like blessing after blessing, and just kind of like like if you have any kind of spirituality or any kind of like touch, relationship with the divine, you kind of get that feeling like, I know my dad's looking out for me. I know my grandparents are looking out for me, and things like that, just based off of like the way things unfold, because it's like, there's no way in hell, like that shit is that much coincidental, But yeah, so my dad passed a couple years ago, and then I had my son and got a new job, and the new job is great. It's a career that I know that I can kind of see out, and at the end of it all, it's going to be extremely, beneficial for my family and myself. So yeah, I think things are all moving in the right direction. That's why it's like, it was really important for me to kind of get going on things like this. It's like, okay, now that all that's kind of getting squared away, and like, I don't want to get one of my biggest issues as a person is getting complacent, getting like comfortable, and like, all right, cool, like we don't need to do it anymore, like, or like, oh, we did, we had a good run, it was fun, like you know, or what's the whole point of it? You know, we got 30 views, like, okay, whatever. Like, so it was like, do I stay convicted to what I have, like, put all this time and effort into, or do I just kind of say like, it was cool, I learned a lot, let's see what the next chapter is, you know? And there are other things that we're, you know, all of us have talked about working on, you know what I mean? There's golf content that we want to make. There's our own ventures that we all want to do, that we all want to kind of like rally around each other and network and like prop each other up. So it just made sense for me specifically to kind of like, we need to get it going. We need to get something going, and we need to just kind of like do it, even if it's shitty. Even if we're not ready, I just need to get off the couch and get it going, you know. Or I need to like literally make some time, set some time apart to do it. Because if not, I'm not going to do it, and it's going to be just another venture that I started and never finished. So, but yeah, that's kind of, it's pretty crazy when you think about the roller coaster that all of us have kind of been through. You know what I mean? Like both positive and negative. It's
mine wasn't all positive in the past year or so. I mean, I lost my
for sure.
mother-in-law about a year ago, which completely changed my life as well.
Yep.
So like I went through a pretty, not necessarily bad breakup, but I lost a relationship that I was in for a few years after my marriage and all that. And with losing my mother-in-law kind of brought me and my ex-wife to a closer understanding of each other and things like that. And
Definitely.
we actually live together again now. Where the relationship goes, who knows? We're still really great friends. We take care of the kids well, but she's dealt with her mom's loss very difficult over the last year because they were as close as I've ever seen a mother and daughter. So yeah, I see how like pushing through the death of someone and not getting complacent and not letting that define everything.
I mean, not that I want to speak to what she's going through, but she's someone that is extremely inspirational in what she's done with herself since her mom's has passed. You know, a lot of people, you know, grieve in different ways and they take it in different ways, and she's totally like, I don't want to say turned her life around, but she's totally like motivated herself in a way that in the time that I've known her.
What she's accomplished in the last 2 years is
insane.
Amazing.
Pretty
yeah,
dope. It's pretty dope to see. Like, yeah,
it's very like inspiring. It's very like encouraging, and it's cool, dude. It's crazy how something like that, like how you can get so much positivity out of something so negative. You know, same thing with like what you're going on with your relationship. Like something so negative, most people would just be like, man, fuck, I would hate to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just kind of like, you become such a better person on the other end, you know, and you hope that it coincides with both you guys. You know, you hope that you guys both able to grow in your own ways.
Correct.
You know? And that's the hope. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to see where we've come in just the last few years. So that's the shutter. So we'll go ahead and we'll reset and we'll see if you probably got to go. Yeah.
It's 7 right now.
7. Okay. So we'll we'll see what we get with another shutter.
And I'm in